My video for July the 3rd, 2018 is entitled The Bill of Human Rights. As I go back and review the heritage of the nation where I was born, Patrick Henry stands out as an idealist who stood up for the rights of all humans to be free from the tyranny of so-called royal families. Of course, he was not the only one, but he stood out to me in his fight to guarantee that all of us could be assured of respect as individuals. He never held public office in the United States, yet he was a major player in trying to ensure free speech, freedom of religion, the right of self-protection, fair trials, and more. Tyrants never want common people to be protected. And those who take notice in our day and age can see that our basic rights are always being eroded by egomaniacs who want domination over rather than freedom for all of us. Yes, my freedom ends where yours begins, and vice versa. It's such a simple and necessary principle that is completely ignored by the so-called elite. I still think it will take some kind of divine intervention if we are going to restore sanity and peace on earth. Yes, with July the 4th looming before us, I am going back and taking another look at some of the documents that were the foundation principles on which the United States of America was founded. And it was a republic, not a democracy. Democracy means the masses rule, and the masses can be easily brainwashed. A republic, if you have true Republican, and I'm not talking about Republican versus Democrat, people that believe in the principles of establishing a barrier between the president and the people, or the one that's supposed to be the head honcho and the ordinary people, so that the people's rights could be guaranteed. That was the purpose of Congress, to guarantee the rights of the people. And Patrick Henry never served any role as a United States representative. He was never president, vice president, never a member of Congress, never a member of the Senate, never a member of the Supreme Court or anything. He was a key player in the state of Virginia, however, and he's an interesting guy. I mean, his first wife was a little bit nuts, according to some accounts. And she died after giving birth to 6 children. And he remarried, and his second wife gave birth to 11 children. That means Patrick Henry fathered 17 children. Where have you heard that in our day and age? You haven't, probably, because it doesn't happen like that anymore. I mean, 6 or 8 is a huge number in our day and age, but he had 17 children and was such an idealist that he stood up and against the Constitution until they added the Bill of Rights. He was probably one of the most prestigious individuals in that day and age to stand up for the rights of you and me as individual people, because he knew the natural propensity of people that are given titles to let the power go to their head and try to dominate everybody else. So he wanted to guarantee that we'd have the right to speak our minds and speak from our hearts, that we'd have the right to worship or not worship as we chose, to have the right, if there was a dispute, to have a trial by jury, not just a jury, but a jury of our peers, not people that were unlike us, but people that were just like us. And of course, we know that in our day and age, I mean, I've been called up for jury on some occasions. And of course, I'm a very outspoken person, and I was never selected to be on a jury because the lawyers didn't want somebody that would try to influence other people. And I always try to influence other people to see the bigger picture. That's part of my mission. It's part of why I'm here on earth. And I take that role very seriously. Now, Patrick Henry, you know, what did I just read about him? I just read something here. He said, it says here, what did I read? Oh, I hate it when I read something just before, and now when I come to the computer and turn it on, I can't remember. But I thought that's something I want to share, and I forgot. And this happens to me, and it's frustrating for me. But folks, seriously, we need to get back to respecting each other as individuals. That's the point that Patrick Henry had. It's why he was such a great orator. He was able to convince the people to put the Bill of Rights into the Constitution, because the Articles of Confederation, he wanted to keep the Articles of Confederation because that guaranteed states' rights. He felt that the states' rights were being compromised by the formation of the Declaration of Independence that created a nation. He wanted an alliance of free states. I think that was what I was alluding to and looking for earlier. I can't remember the exact quote, but in any case, and I better turn back the timer screen so I know how much time I have left. In any case, folks, we need to get back to the principles that Patrick Henry and many of our founding fathers in this country gave us. And I know at that time, women were not given the right to vote. Blacks were not given the right to vote. It was just white Caucasians. Native Americans weren't even given the right to vote. I realize all of those things, but understand too that we supposedly are evolving toward higher consciousness and a higher awareness. And what's happening in my perspective, or from my perspective, is that we are having some of the basic principles and foundations of human rights undermined by those that want to control everything. And of course, it's the international bankers that play the war games, the House of Rothschilds or whatever, but there are demons, perhaps, or fallen angels that are also playing a very major role in the evolution of humanity. They have messed with our DNA, as I've said in other videos. They've turned off codons so that we can't think as clearly as we should think, and then we get drugged and everything else by the pharmaceutical industry. And some people asked in the meeting last night, because there were people there with glasses on, and I said, I used to have glasses for my driver's license, but I realized that glasses were making my eyes weaker. They were going the wrong way, so I stopped wearing glasses. And I actually, over a period of time, my eyes got stronger again, and I was able to pass the driver's license thing without glasses, because I could pass the general thing. And I think my eyes have actually gotten better in many respects than what they were before, because we need to be strengthened inside. Our bodies need to come back to the way that we were made, and we need to rediscover a lot of things that we have lost and continue to lose until enough of us wake up, and until, as I said, until there is some kind of divine intervention that turns things around and brings us back to the foundation of human rights and human decency and loving one another. Why is that so hard? Thank you for listening. Namaste.